Hey guys, I'm back with this next episode review, so let's go. So the girls are discussing the crawl space under Allie's old house, and then Lieutenant Tanner kind of rolls up on them in school, and she sits down and she talks to Emily, and she tells her, we don't exactly know who drove the car into your house, but we did find a muddy shoe in the wreckage. And Hannah looks like she's about to faint or something. And she says, apparently, like, either they're going to test the shoe to definitely see if it is the one that matches the footprints at the crime scene where Wilden was killed, or something along those lines. But anyway, Hannah leaves, and I think she ended up losing her breakfast in the school bathroom, so that freaked her out. Spencer wants to go to the crawl space where they believe CeCe is, and they want to see if there's any evidence to prove that she's actually back, and she wants Hannah to be the distraction and get Miss D out of the house, away from there, so the other three girls can go and investigate and see what they can find. And while Hannah is standing in the hallway, there's a strange guy who just keeps staring at her. And she kind of gets a little bit like, okay, why is this guy looking at me? And she ends up walking away. But we're going to get back to him eventually. Paige comes into the picture. Emily actually gets her recommendation from Zoe. You all remember Zoe, right? Who was her group leader when she went to Haiti to do some volunteer work. And Paige looks at the recommendation letter and it's very, very glowy, which, you want a recommendation to be, like that. But this one was a little bit too glowy. And Paige thinks that Zoe has a thing for Emily. And Emily's like, no, you're wrong. It's nothing like that. And then she pretty much leaves. Ezra snaps at Emily because she went to go take the recommendation letter to him to have him look over, but he's too busy thinking about Maggie and Malcolm and the entire situation, and he is just stressed out. But he does apologize to Emily, which is a good thing. I would have been like, look, you got your nerve. Apologize to that girl, please. Anyways, Hannah, she goes to her locker and she ends up finding an envelope that has Diva Dish on it, which was the boutique that CeCe pretty much was running. And the note says, that's what the envelope says, maybe this can help your mother. And Hannah opens the envelope and there's a bunch of $100 bills in there. Like, what the heck? Where'd all this money come from? Then we're going to go and continue talking about weird notes. Toby, he's in his car with Spencer, and he turns the truck on, and there's a CD playing, and it's his mom singing, and Spencer freaks out, and she's like, take the CD out, please. On the CD, it says, there's more where this came from. And Toby really wants to call Dr. Palmer and see what is going on. Spencer's like, you need to leave this alone. This man is not in his right mind, and all these things that are going on. Now we go back to the crawl space. Emily and Aria are already down there. And then Spencer shows up. But before she shows up, they end up finding a button that looks like a button that could have fallen off of Redcoat's coat. Then they hear somebody in the house above them. Who could be there? So they end up texting Hannah asking, is Miss D with you? And she says, yes. Now you guys remember the little holes that are up in like the floorboards, but of course they're in the crawl space, so they're above them? Aria almost had her eye taken out because she's too busy looking through the hole, and the person, whoever's up there, starts kind of putting a really sharp blade in each hole. And the girls are sitting there. Am I the only one who was like, y'all are breathing a little too hard? Hush up. Like, I know they were freaked out, but they were like, I was like, be quiet, okay? Jeez. But anyways, that was something I wanted to point out. Let me see here. The girls, they grill Spencer about what's going on with Toby because she's been acting very odd and they can tell. And then she finally admits that Toby has been getting things from A that could be in connection to his mom because she tells them, basically, they think Toby's mom was murdered, that she didn't commit suicide. Let me see here. Oh, A sends Toby a picture of a car, which we later find out is Dr. Palmer's old car, and he thinks that there's something in there that could really prove what exactly happened to his mom. Ezra, He talks to Aria at the brew, but then Jake shows up. Now, the whole entire point of this episode, before I continue, is that they're all going to go to a dance at a barn, okay? Like a little hoedown, you know, cowboy, cowgirl, wear your outfit, kick your knees up type of a thing. And Jake actually bought Aria a pair of cowboy boots. And those were really, really cute. I would wear those. Um, so Emily, she's decided she wants to get out of the house. She wants to like crash on someone's couch. She does not care. She does not want to stay at Alison's old house anymore. So she's getting things together, and she goes into a flashback after she sees some nail polish, of course, something that connects her to Alison. Come to find out, Alison and Emily, they are talking about boyfriends. And of course, you know, way back when Emily was dating a boy named Ben. And Alison's basically saying, well, I can break you guys up. I've done it before. And then she mentions that one time she did this for somebody else, and the guy ended up pulling a gun on her. So Emily is thinking that when she saw the picture of Wilden, Allie, and CeCe together, she thought that Wilden and Allie had something going on. But it may have been Wilden and CeCe, and Allie is the one who tried to break those two up, and Wilden pulled a gun on her. I wouldn't put it past Wilden for doing that, to be perfectly honest. CeCe, we see her now. She is on the phone with someone, and you see like newspapers that have to do with Allie's murder and her when she went missing and all this stuff. Then you see the red coat that's kind of like laying on a chair, and everyone's thinking, oh wow, is she really Redcoat, you know? Let me speed this up a little bit. At the dance, the random guy who put the envelope in Hannah's locker, his name is Travis, and he says that he was there the night that Hannah's mom drove away. He knows for a fact that Hannah's mom did not kill Wilden because he saw a female running into the woods after he heard the gunshot. And according to him, it did look like a girl who was blonde. And then tells Hannah that he has done everything that he needed to do. His conscience is clear, but Hannah's like, you need to go to the police and tell them everything you know, which he does eventually. He does go to Lieutenant Tanner and tells her what has happened, or what he can remember from that night. Jake and Aria, they were dancing their little butts off. I love that. That was actually a very happy moment in the show for me. I actually enjoyed watching them dance. And little did I know that the guy who plays Jake is a dancer. So I'm like, oh, no wonder he got some moves on him. Caleb asks Hannah not to trust the guy who gave her the envelope, not to trust anything he says. Of course, you know Caleb. He's going to make sure Hannah doesn't do anything stupid again anymore. Spencer accidentally tells Toby that she told her friends about the information Toby was getting. Then he angrily storms out, obviously to go see the car, Dr. Palmer's car. Spencer begs Caleb to follow Toby, which he does, and even though Toby is trying to get into the car, the police show up and they both pretty much run away. Redcoat is watching Aria and Emily as they're talking to each other in the barn. And then not Hannah, sorry guys. Spencer and Emily end up following Redcoat out of the barn, and then they get into a truck. There was a guy who I guess was like delivering hay or doing something at the barn or whatever. And they try to get into his truck to drive away and follow Redcoat. Then they see what looks like Redcoat get into the back of the truck, get under the hay, and then they go out and it's just the Redcoat. I'm like, what? Okay, am I the only one who had a serious like brain fart when that happened? I swear. I already talked about that. Aria goes to visit Ezra. And he doesn't want to drag Aria into the entire situation, and she tells him that she isn't leaving. So I'm guessing he pretty much tells her everything that's going on. Then you see CeCe, who's listening at the door, but this time she's wearing a black coat. And then the episode ends, and then you see A or whoever knitting something like a small little like sweater looking thing, and then pulls out dolls of each of the girls, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. Okay. How do I feel about this one? Definitely more suspense. Definitely a cute little concept. They always do something like dance-wise or go to like little functions before something weird happens in an episode. I'm very happy that Ezra has finally started talking to Aria, or Aria has started talking to Ezra. because even though Emily did have to kind of spill the beans a little bit so Aria could go and talk to him, I feel like it is a way for them to reach some closure, although I do feel like it's going to complicate things even more with her trying to move on and all this stuff. For the most part, guys, my next video that's going to be up is the full recap. I'm going to do that as best as I can. I'm a little bit nervous about doing it, to be perfectly honest, because there's just so much that happened that I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all that into one video. I could do it in 2 parts, but to be perfectly honest, I know that someone mentioned just doing like the main basic things that have happened, like the big points, but everything in the show is pretty much a big point. Everything like leads to something, or something happens because of this or happens because of that. So I'm going to do my best with this recap, and we will see how that goes, okay? I will definitely be putting something up, but like I said, we will see if I am able to do this justice. Other than that, I will see you guys, what's today, Wednesday? I'll see y'all around Friday when I have that full recap up. That's the plan. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.